guys, my name is Martina and I am the music licensing manager at Moa Music Group. I want to welcome Moa and Cheyenne to our Get Talking series.
Woo! Hey!
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Moa and Cheyenne are composers, songwriters, and artists, and they actually write for Moa Music Group. So thank you guys for joining. How are you guys? Doing good?
Good. Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
So we're having this chat today because I don't think it's any surprise that, the music industry is male dominated. So we want to highlight our lovely women that are making the music, doing the thing. And just to kind of highlight this, I wanted to read out some stats for you guys that were kind of shocking to me, actually. Women make up only 22% of artists, 12% of songwriters, and only 2% of producers. I think we all know that these are the numbers, but it's still kind of shocking to see it on paper. And while we're on stats, I do want to mention that at Moa Music, we are actually 55% female in our corporate workforce. So that's super, that's really exciting. And obviously we're obviously aiming for that to be reflected in our roster as well. So thank you guys for being a part of that. I want to start it off just kind of asking you guys what your background is and how you got started in music.
So for me, my started in church, singing for my dad when he was preaching. And that's how it started. I was very shy, pretty much afraid of everything but singing. Like, went from gospel, I've done jazz and musical theater. And then when I came here, that's when I got into the whole pop world, actually. But I started as a little tot,
Wow. That's amazing. Wow.
I started out as like a bass player and playing in bands and did that whole thing and grew up saying that I was going to become a rock star when I grow up. And I didn't really get into the whole pop thing until later either, like a couple of years ago. Like, I wanted to be a rock star, and like tour the world and like do that whole thing.
That's cool. And did you guys study music? Did you go to music school?
Oh yeah, that's where me and Moa met at the good old MI.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like it's necessary to have a formal music education to work in this industry? I feel like it's more for the connections and to be able to network and you just meet new people. It's more what's happening outside of school than what's happening inside school. I don't know if you agree.
100%. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like, just the fact, like Cheyenne and I met there, and I actually got my first admin deal through MI. So, like, there's definitely good things to come out of it, but yeah, definitely the connections. I think everything else you can learn from, YouTube these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you definitely don't need a formal education, but it's always helpful to have a mentor or somebody you can kind of look to that you respect. But once you hit a certain level, I think it's really important to have another shoulder to lean on, for sure.
Yeah, that can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in school. It can be, whoever works at your favorite live venue or, store or wherever it is. Like, that's who I had as a mentor growing up, the guy that was the guitar technician at the local music store. So, I think it's super important though to have that to look up to and kind of aim for, I guess.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I definitely had those growing up. Not so much when I was in the whole church thing, but when I started doing jazz, I was in this Thelonious Monk jazz workshop thing. And it was this program that the school offered, and the lady that was over, her name was Lisa Henry. And she's still doing jazz today. But she really pushed me in a direction that I really didn't like. I didn't like her because she was telling me the truth.
Yeah.
But looking back at it now, it's like those are the people that I really am so grateful for today, because I don't think I know I wouldn't be the person I am now without those people pushing me, people like her.
Well, I kind of want to pivot into talking about the industry a little bit, because sync, writing for film and television, all the visual media, is kind of a niche part of the industry. So I kind of want to hear about how you guys got into that. Did that just kind of happen, or did you plan on it to happen?
I think it was a little bit of both. I was thinking, yeah, maybe I should get in, like try this sync thing. And then a customer of mine, I used to work at Guitar Center at the time. He was a composer and he got me on this track for Vanderpump Rules. And I was like, oh, I'm, famous now. And then for some reason, I feel like I just kept being pulled back into that world. And I personally love it. So, I mean, here we are.
I was just writing. It was just, we were just in a band and we were writing and people liked the songs and they happened to get placed. So I don't think that's the same as what I'm doing now with West One, which is like, it's me. It's literally just me and a producer, and we have this thing, and we're just gonna write for this. So it's just a different approach, I guess, than being in a band. Is what I'm trying to say. I absolutely love doing this with you all, and I want to do more and more and more. And it's just it's so fun.
I think it's so great when you come to a point in your career where you can help awesome people and just make that happen for each other. And it's that's really the most rewarding part of what I do, I think. So thank you guys. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about just being a woman in the music industry. So I read out those stats before, and keeping those in mind, obviously you must have encountered walking into studio being the only woman there, or working on a project where you're the only woman. So is that something that's normal? Do you feel like you've experienced that a lot?
But yeah, it's definitely normal to be the only woman, at least for me. I've always been that in the room for the most part. And it's sad to say, but it's come to the point where I don't notice that I'm the only woman at this point. It's just like, hey, what's up? Like it's like, that's not good. Like, I definitely want that to change. And
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely used to being the only woman, but I also think that I've been pretty lucky. I feel like most of the men I've worked with are amazing. And I also feel like I have a huge, network of other females. And I think it becomes like a thing who you surround yourself with, like if, both of you guys, for example. And so I think, surround yourself with more awesome women.
But how do you think it will change, or how it can change?
I think we need to neutralize it, not point out this is a female producer, this is a female guitar player, this is a female writer. No, this is just a producer, this is just a guitar player.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I definitely feel like, you're talking about female composers, or you're talking about, like you said, female guitarist, female drummer, or whatever it is, but you never say that. You would never say a male guitarist or a male drummer. Right? So that's a great point. And I think me personally, and also us as a company, we definitely make an effort with that, with just neutralizing it.
Yeah, it makes people look at the fact that they're female rather than their skill and what they actually are bringing to the table. Yeah. So it almost kind of, devalues what the person is doing.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but are there any other women in the industry, or outside of the industry for that matter, that you kind of take inspiration from, or that you admire, or that you've been looking up to throughout your career?
So many. Well, I guess I'll go. Yeah, like I said, Lisa Henry was definitely a big influence. She's a jazz musician in Kansas City. She really helped push me to further links. And also my theater teacher back home, Melody Connor, she's still teaching. And she, once again, very strong woman, just really just brought me out of my shell. And of course, my mother is a big influence on me. And you guys, of course, yes.
With One, having so many awesome female working for them, and I think that's cool. And who else? I think Alexia Stratton is another badass chick. She's a
Oh yeah.
front of house / tour manager, which I feel like is even more of a male dominated profession. And then I'm like Cheyenne, my mom is my biggest role model. Yeah, I feel like the list honestly could go on and on and on.
Well, that's kind of, I want to touch on something you said with how you in sync often write for a specific project or a specific mood or specific genre, and it might not necessarily be something that you are used to or something that you're listening to personally or whatever it is. So how do you get inspired to write that stuff? How do you find inspiration?
For me, I think I try to always see everything as a learning experience, that I'm always learning something and that there's always something to be taken, like something that I can use in like my genre later on. I think for me, that's the biggest thing, just trying to learn. And, you know, I listen to a lot of references. I try to listen to that genre specifically because, yeah, I think reference tracks is golden. That give you an idea. And even if you don't necessarily like that type of music, you can appreciate, you know, the craftsmanship behind it, I think.
And I mean, to get inspired for a project, I just go hard on that genre. Like I listen to it all day, every day while I'm sleeping. I'm not listening to nothing else until I'm like done with this project. Like I just like become a part of that world. It's almost kind of like being an actor, I feel. Like you just take on this new personality and you just live in it and enjoy it and be it, and the songs come out, I think, a lot more naturally.
But I think also from my perspective, when, you know, I'm researching the market and what is being used, what are people actually thinking, you know, I go so deep into it as well, so I can recognize that from my part. So that's really cool. Are there any other projects that you're excited about, or any recent ones that you've done that you're really excited about?
What's this upcoming project for West One? That's probably one of my favorites for this year.
Right, for me, I'm excited.
The R&B album?
The R&B. Yeah, I really loved working on that album. The whole vibe, the whole R&B thing just took me back to my roots.
And toss it up to me day one, cause they know I'm a real one, and yeah, I know I'm a real one. On to the next, on to the next.
That's so cool. You guys are working on so many different things. Are there any career goals that you have, and that can be, you know, a specific show that you would like to write for, or, you know, a movie or a director that you want to work with? Is there anything like that in sync that you see for yourselves?
Car commercial, or like a sports or like a soda commercial. That would be my next goal.
Okay.
No pressure, Martina, but
Yeah.
You know.
I know I would love to work on projects that definitely reflect the Black community in a positive light, for sure. That's definitely something that I would love to do. Black community and women empowerment, things like that. Like those are the type of projects that I really would love to work for in the future, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And on that note, and I kind of wanted to finish off on this as well. Do you guys have any advice for young women that are trying to break into sync or just the music industry as a whole?
Just keep putting yourself out there. I think it's really scary as a woman, of course. And it's scary for everybody in this industry, but definitely women have another journey that we go through. So try not to let that, you know, be a wall, but let that just be a part of your journey and put it into whatever project that you're working on, and then send it out. No regrets. Just keep pushing.
And just keep doing it every day. Like, honestly, I think that's the biggest one. And try to believe in yourself. I know that's really hard sometimes. And I think, especially us as artists, you know, we're emotional creatures. Like, we doubt ourselves, as Cheyenne said. But trying to, you know, tell yourself, I'm good, I'm great, and I'm only going to get better.
Yeah. And I think that's so true for me as well. I've almost had to be overly confident in certain situations just to kind of compensate for what I'm facing. And a lot of times it's the pressure that I'm putting on myself, but sometimes, you know, you're in shitty situations and you just gotta like stand up for yourself more than you should have to. But yeah, I think that's great advice. And I think kind of looping back on what we said also, just surround yourself with people that are supportive, and especially women, because we're gonna change it by lifting each other up, I think.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm super excited that we got to do this, and I'm really happy that you both are on our composer roster. You know, you will, like I said, link to everything so you guys can check out their awesome work. Yeah, thank you guys so much, and hopefully I'll see you guys in real life soon.
Yes.